It's time for another Sit and Talk FAQ. This is the short little segment of the Sit and Talk. I have a long 1 hour vlog that I do every week and I answer everybody's questions. And sometimes people ask the same questions a lot. And so then I put it into an FAQ so that I can just point them to that. So today we have a question from One Page Anon, who says, do you guys have any plans to continue with work on Dark Potential? And if so, do you know when? The answer is no plans, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to do it. It's just, if I want to go into a little bit of detail here, because this is something I'm going to point people to very often. Dark Potential, when we first did the Indiegogo campaign several years ago for it, all I intended to do was 5 models. Not even from the same faction. It was just going to be like, we're going to try to make some models. We need to raise a bit of money. I wanted $20,000. I posted $10,000 because I could probably make it work with $10,000. At least I thought I could. We raised $90,000, and so all of a sudden I got carried away, and I'm like, we can do like 3 starter factions or 3 starter sets, and I can work on the rules and all of that. And so I got into it, and $90,000 later, I had the 3 starter factions, but we still had beta rules, and I realized that we just didn't have the time, the money, or the expertise to really do it right. And there's too much, the business was too volatile at the time. We weren't doing as well as we are now. And so it was too much of an impact. The amount of time that I had to put into it was just too much. So I realized we just weren't ready for it yet. It was something I loved doing. It was very stressful, very, very stressful, because it was all on me. Not that Dave didn't want to help, it's just I kind of had taken the project on myself. And so it made everything else suffer. I wasn't able to work on videos as much, wasn't able to work on the store as much back when we had the store. And I just kind of came to the conclusion, we're not ready for this. I want to do it. We've got the pictures here in the background. That's probably why it keeps reminding people, because these are Dark Potential pictures. Maybe I should change them out for like something else so it doesn't remind people. And I've had questions like, well, won't your backers feel ripped off that you kind of took their money and ran? Well, if they do, they misunderstood it, because I took their money and I spent it all on making the miniatures that they backed. So I did exactly what I said I was going to do in the Indiegogo campaign. I actually went above and beyond what the initial idea was. I never said that we were going to be fully in production and doing this forever. It was always meant to be a test run. And so yeah, people are disappointed, and I understand. And it makes me happy, actually, that some people are disappointed, because it means that they liked it and they wanted to keep going. But we just right now don't have the resources to do it. And the amount of work that we're now putting into videos is escalated. We're doing even more videos. I'm working on average 3 or 4 full days just recording in the studio. And then I have 1, maybe 2 days a week to do this kind of stuff, to sit and talk, answer my emails, take care of managing the business and everything else. There is no time whatsoever to work on a side project that we don't even know will work. And that might drain all of our resources and all of our money. And on top of that, there's still a lot of things I don't know about that, and I'd want to be able to do. When we are ready to do Dark Potential, if we ever do it, I do want to do it. Let me make this clear. I do want to do it. That doesn't mean it will ever happen, though, because we have to see where the business goes. And we have to focus on the things that work and the things that are making us money. And sometimes take risks, and maybe the Dark Potential one will be a risk that we'll take one day. But that is a high money risk. Like, I want $500,000 to invest in that. And so I'll have to raise that capital. Not necessarily through Kickstarter, but I don't know how. It doesn't matter. It's just, these are just things that I want. I want a lot of money and a lot of time, and I also want a lot of help to be able to make it work, because the thing that I learned from building what we did, from making what we did Dark Potential, is the immensity of the amount of work it takes to actually do miniatures. And on top of that, to do a miniature war game, like actually have game rules to go with it, adds even more complexity to that. So I gained a lot of respect for miniature companies out there, especially Games Workshop and Privateer Press, Corvus Belli, all these other ones who do it and are doing it consistently. I've gained a lot of respect, because I've seen the amount of work it takes just to do something little, something small, rather than something to the scale that Games Workshop and Privateer Press do. So the plans, there are no plans. I'm not planning not to do it, if that makes sense. It's on the back burner. And one day we might do it, but I would not expect it anytime soon, at least as I'm making of this video. End FAQ.